At the age of 73, King Charles III finally took the throne. And with being a king comes with it a lot of power and authority, especially taking a look at where he is ruling, the UK. So, with his newfound authority and power, how will he shape the future of the UK? Will he shake up the monarchy to its foundation? What kind of ruler will he turn out to be? And what lies in store for the British royal family in the future? Well, in today's video, we will have a look at some of the powers that King Charles III will have at his disposal. That goes from the powers that he might abuse and the powers that he must use to ensure his rule a successful one. Let's see what they are, shall we? 1. Serve as king. Serving as the monarch of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland is arguably the most evident act King Charles III has the power to do. King Charles III also serves as the head of state for the Commonwealth realms. He is now the head of state of the 15 nations that comprise of the Commonwealth realm. These include the likes of the Solomon Islands, Tuvalu, St. Kitts, and Nevis and Australia, among others. Most of these countries were former British Empire colonies. And now, with all this, King Charles III is under a lot of pressure to reaffirm the value of the Commonwealth of Nations to governments that are beginning to disagree with it. Will King Charles III buckle under the strain, or will he rekindle the Commonwealth's power? Only time will tell. 2. Deciding the royal dress code. Believe it or not, the clothing that everyone wears is under the control of King Charles III. In general, royal family members are not permitted to wear black unless they are in a state of mourning, and the women are always required to wear tights. Revealing bare legs without tights is a big no-no for royal family members. And now, King Charles III has the authority to impose rules solely based on personal preferences. He may outlaw a specific shade, design, or even a particular hairdo. Regardless, the monarch has the final say regarding his family's dress codes. 3. He has power on the sovereign immunity. According to the idea of sovereign immunity, a sovereign cannot break the law or commit a crime. The sovereign will never be subject to legal action or criminal prosecution. In essence, King Charles III is exempt from all laws and associated penalties. Pretty good deal, wouldn't you say? In other words, he cannot be sent to jail. This is due to the sovereign King Charles III's continued symbolic significance as the personification of the rule of law and the administration of justice. King Charles would effectively be suing himself if he were to be charged with a legal crime and go to trial. According to common law, the sovereign was deemed to be divinely appointed by God and hence was not subject to any wrongdoing. The sovereign is still seen as being above the law, even though this doctrine is no longer relevant. King Charles III may be exempt from any legal actions, but that doesn't mean he won't conduct himself in a legitimate and orderly manner. He is, after all, the Commonwealth's and the United Kingdom's justice representative. That's a huge reputation to maintain. 4. Drive without a license or license plate. King Charles III is permitted to operate his vehicle without a license in the odd event that he prefers not to be chauffeured by a stylish driver. Moreover, the king is the only person in the UK who does not require a DVLA. Basically, his car will be the only one on the road without a legitimate license plate and not requiring a driver's license. Imagine being rear-ended by the king and not being able to do anything about it. Well, you'll know it's the king if you ever see an expensive car driving around London without a license plate. 5. Approving royal proposals. Consider requesting His Majesty the King's consent to ask for a hand in marriage. Any royal proposal may be approved or rejected by King Charles III. One of his duties will be to ensure that the royal family's partners are respectable and suited. In the royal family, selecting the ideal life mate is constantly under a lot of strain. 6. Appoint a prime minister. The royal prerogative, a collection of reserved powers, are now in King Charles III's control. It's a body of customary authority, privilege and immunity recognized by common law. An example of a royal prerogative is a prime minister. It would be against the law for King Charles III to choose a prime minister based only on personal preferences. Instead, he would name a prime minister following a robust democratic election in which all eligible voters participated. The party leader that obtained a majority in the House of Commons during a general election will always be the prime minister. But before the appointment, the previous prime minister will go to Buckingham Palace to receive an official letter of resignation, while the new prime minister will be summoned to see King Charles shortly after. This is when the king will ask the new prime minister if they want to form a government. The appointment will then be formalized if the prime minister responds in the affirmative. Later on, the court circular will record that the prime minister kissed hands on appointment. 7. Appoints members to the House of Lords. The king has the authority to nominate individuals to the House of Lords. This is the second House of Parliament. The House of Lords members examine and critique legislation the House of Commons adopted. Any bill from the House of Commons may be reviewed and modified by the House of Lords. However, the House of Lords doesn't often reject any bills. King Charles III will now appoint the House Lords based on each candidate's expertise in British industry, culture, law, politics, and public service. The House of Lords has 756 seats available. These positions will be held by people with relevant professional and personal experiences. Among the members will be 26 bishops of the Church of England. The other members are referred to as the Lords Temporal. 8. War Declaration. King Charles III also has the power to declare war as the head of state and the military's commander-in-chief. This indicates that King Charles III has complete authority over the UK military. Every member of the armed forces takes an oath of allegiance to King Charles. They swear to follow his instructions, die for him, and fight for him. But, well, we hope that King Charles III won't exercise this power anytime soon. 9. Doesn't pay taxes. This one might offend a number of people, but King Charles III has the authority to forego taxation. The Sovereign Grant Act of 2011 states that the king is exempt from inheritance, capital gains, and income taxes. This is so because the Crown is exempt from tax legislation. In contradiction, Queen Elizabeth II had volunteered to pay income and capital gains taxes since 1992. At the time, she was also responsible for paying council rates and value-added tax. Let's hope King Charles does the same. However, it's still unclear whether the royal family, including King Charles and other members, pay income tax on their enormous personal wealth. We'll probably never find out. 10. Travel without a passport. Have you ever been on your way to the airport and realized you forgot your passport? Have you ever felt the sickening thought, "My vacation is ruined"? Well, that won't be the case for King Charles III. He will never have to worry about this scenario. King Charles is permitted to go abroad without a passport. This is because the monarch's name appears on British passports. Having a passport that you personally issued seems a little pointless. 11. Grant a pardon. Under the royal prerogative of mercy, King Charles III has the power to pardon. The original purpose of the royal prerogative of mercy was to spare the life of a criminal who was about to be executed. The monarch hardly ever exercises this authority. It has not been used since 2013. The last time was when Queen Elizabeth posthumously pardoned scientist Alan Turing after he was found guilty of homosexual behavior in 1952. 12. Keep finances private. Charles has the power to keep complete financial secrecy. As we all know, according to the Freedom of Information Act of 2005, the public has the right to access any government information. But the royal family is clearly mentioned as exempting this law in the Act. If they choose not to, they are under no duty to reveal any information about themselves or their financial situation. The royal family is open about their capital gains and income taxes, but they keep very quiet about the specifics of their inherited fortune. The specifics of Queen Elizabeth II's will and the location of her posthumous funds will never be made public. 13. Grant knighthoods. King Charles III may award a knighthood to any subject of the realm who has displayed valor or service fidelity. A knighthood used to be accompanied by monetary and prize rewards. Now, the sole distinction given is the title of knight, which is still a significant honor. Although the monarchy personally selects the knighthood honorees, anybody may submit a nomination. On the official birthday of the monarch, as well as New Year's Day, those selected for the knighthood are announced. It looks like the new king will have a lot more on his plate to contend with, but the benefits in this case vastly outweigh the negatives. We've just covered some of the amazing things King Charles III has the power to do, but if you were the monarch, which authority would you enjoy the most and why? See you in the next one.